everyone. Hi, Margaret. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, so I think we should start while others join us. So we all know that the gender gap in STEM is apparent, and in the last 3 years, Eko-Konnect and WACREN, that's the regional REN, the West Africa Research and Education, have put in place different what we noticed was that when we advertise these activities, we get a lot of interest from women. We get up to 500 plus people showing interest in the activities that we put in place. But the challenges are the engagement, the retention engagement, like it's really, really low. And we are trying to, contribute to building this gender disparity in the technical field. So having low engagement of people that we are trying to encourage is a little bit worrying. So we want to hear, so people that we invited to moderate and also be part of the panelists today have one way or the other participated in our past activities. So we would like to, hear their own point of view and opinion, advice with regards to the content area, like content that we've been sharing in the past, with regards to the research for women in tech, work experience, entrepreneurship, incubator, makerspace. Our own approach was in terms of makerspace approach, like coding, physical computing, how you can use code to interact with hardware, like electronics devices, and microcontrollers like Raspberry Pi, and so on. So I will just dive down to the format of the section for today. So first off, I'll welcome our moderators, and then the panelists would introduce themselves. And we are going to be having a presentation by Amanda Obidike, so I'll be introducing her as well. So next, we would move into the first topic section. We have like 3 topic sections here. So I think I should be sharing the brief, the document for the benefit of our audience. So I'm just going to put that in the chat. Okay, yeah. So we have 3 topic of discussion area where we are going to be asking questions around. And the first topic of discussion, which will be moderated by Dr. Joke Badijo, is exploring strategies for effective inclusion, prioritizing content area, like in terms of the content and resources in various technology niches. So we'll be asking questions around that. And the next topic of discussion, which will be moderated by Margaret, is promoting women in STEM, how education, research, and corporate community can support promoting women, to have more women showcase their innovation, their talent, and so on. And then the last topic of discussion, where we'll be asking questions around and getting your feedback is professional skills, employability skills, or entrepreneurship. And I will be asking them that. I'll be moderating that section. So the next thing on our agenda will be an open question and answer discussion, whereby we'll ask our audience to, talk or participate, share their own opinion as well. So I'm sure each panel discussion will have their own style. I think Margaret, she has how she wants to run that section. So she will let us know when the time comes. And also Dr. Jacob Badijam and himself. So then the last of the agenda will be closing remark. So next, I will move to the first item on the agenda, which is introducing our presenter, Amanda Ubidike. So Amanda is a multi-award winning social innovator, technologist, and scientist. She's the founding curator of the WEF Global Shaper, Ozubulu Up, and executive director of STEM Pie Makers Africa. In this role, she provides leadership, strategic management, and oversees the design and implementation of sustainable community projects and STEM education across 19 sub-Saharan countries by preparing the next generation of Africans with STEM creative skills for Africa's workforce. Currently serves on the leadership team of the 500 Women Scientists US and Trustee Board of the MAI Foundation. Welcome, Amanda. So next is Dr. Joke Badijo. Dr. Joke received BTech degree from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology in 2003. She received a master's in engineering and PhD degree from Covenant University, all in computer engineering. She's currently an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Information Engineering at Covenant University, Nigeria. During her PhD, she received the International Association for Patent Recognition and MOR PHO grant in 2012 for biometrics training. She was also a visiting doctoral student at Biomedical Signal Analysis Laboratory at Clausen University, Potsdam, New York. Research interests include biometrics, biomedical image analysis, machine learning, data analytics, software engineering. I think if you are interested in AI and machine learning, contact Dr. Joke. She has authored about 35 scholarly articles. Yeah, welcome, Dr. Joke. And she's a member of COREN, that's the Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, and IEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So next, I'll be introducing Margaret. Margaret graduated from the Karl Franz Zanz University in Austria with a doctor's degree in economics and a master's degree in economics education. A second master's degree she holds from the University of Economics and Business, both in Austria. And after a year in the industry, she returned to higher education as a senior lecturer and researcher. Margaret has been awarded professorship by Austrian Council of the University of Applied Science. As researcher, her focus has been on liberalization and privatization of infrastructure services. After 12 years of lecturing and researching in Indonesia, she moved to Ethiopia, where she worked as education scientist at the Higher Education Strategy Center in Addis Ababa, with special focus on differentiation of the higher education sector in Ethiopia, increasing attractiveness of TVET and digital literacy for researchers and to include open science. And also Margaret, she has been involved in our ICT for Girls program, data science activities that we had last year. So she has been a great contributor in that regard. So welcome, Margaret. So next will be for our panelists to please introduce themselves one by one. And I think we should follow the way our name appeared on the participant list. So can we please click on that? So I think we'll be starting with Balikis Okpeyemi. Balikis, please, can you introduce yourself? Just for less than a minute, please. I think you can turn on your mic. Hello, Balikis. All right, I think we should move on to Deborah Joseph. Deborah.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Deborah Joseph by name. I'm a student of University of Ibadan. I'm studying electrical and electronics engineering, and I'm the current chairperson of Women in Engineering, University of Ibadan's student branch. I'm grateful to be in the panel session this morning. Thank you.
Okay. Eleta Oluwabumi, can you please go next?
Good morning. Can you please hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good morning. I'm a senior system analyst from the University of Ilorin. I work with the ICT Directorate, and I'm happy to be here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Anifa.
Hi everyone, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
All right, great. Hi, I'm Hanifa Brahman Leki. I'm currently the program coordinator at Ingressive for Good. I basically manage the students community in universities across Nigeria and Africa at large. I'm really passionate about community building and women inclusion as well, most especially in the STEM arena. I was also one of the beneficiaries of 2018 Wakran program. We learned physical computing with Python using the Raspberry Pi. And I'm excited to be here as well. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Anifa. Next will be Olusoji Salome. Hi, Salome.
Salome, I
think you are muted.
I'm so sorry. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Olusoji Salome, a student of University of Ibadan, and I'm excited to be part of this panel section. Thank you.
Next is Temilade.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Temilade Adelakun, and I recently finished from the University of Ibadan, where I studied mechanical engineering, and I'm graduating with a first class. Then I'm presently a scholar at the Nigerian University of Technology and Management. I'm one of the founding scholars. Well, I'm very passionate about education, technology, and women in technology. And I was part of the 2020 Women in Wakren program. In summary, I aspire to be a business leader who assists with the advancement of technology in Africa, and as well as impacting and inspiring people. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. Next is Teresa Kibia. Hi, Teresa.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Can we see me? Can we hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go
ahead. All right. I'm
Okedia
Teresa. I'm a postgraduate student of Covenant University, where I'm studying computer science. I'm currently rounding up my program here, actually. I'm a data scientist, a lover of education. I like impacting knowledge into people. I have interest in women and anything that has to do with promoting women or making women see that they can do something or they can fit in into the society. Thank you very much. And I'm very excited to be part of the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Next is Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Victoria Akintomide. I'm a final year student at the University of Lagos, where I study electrical engineering. I was also one of the beneficiaries of the ICT for Girls program last year, as I got to be part of the Eko-Konnect family. I'm really excited to be here and looking forward to the sessions.
Thank you, Victoria. So I hope I didn't miss out anyone. Balikis, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Good morning, everyone. My name is Balkis Abdul. I'm a service desk analyst in ITA. I love everything pertaining to women. I've been into programming since I was in school days, and I really love it when it comes to technology, science, mathematics. I always want women to be involved because we should believe that we can do it. It's not only the male alone. And I'm really happy to be here to be one of the panelists. Looking forward to what I will also gain from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for doing a great job introducing yourself. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you all are present here today, and I hope our audience will take away one or two things from this section. So next on the agenda will be a presentation by Amanda. The topic of our presentation is a radical shift in education must come first. Amanda.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Kafaya. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this platform. I would like to, also thank the panelists and the speakers on board. I feel that I should also learn from everyone, going by our wonderful bios that Kafaya read. So it's going to be a short presentation, and I don't know if I can share my screen. I would like to, okay, a moment, please. Okay, let me try it now. Okay, can we see my screen? Can you view my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I just want to introduce myself, in a nutshell. So first things first, I'm Nigerian, proudly Nigerian. I am also a data scientist and STEM advocate. Although I didn't have any background in science or technology in school, but that's what actually I would share my story briefly on why I delved into STEM, and I can tell you for free that it's been a very beautiful experience for me because I've met like-minded women, and I've met people that are willing to teach you, share their stories and inspire you. So it's been a beautiful experience. And outside of STEM, I'm a data scientist. I help small businesses, especially businesses that cannot afford services of a data scientist, to help them in their businesses, as they penetrate new markets or determine their profits. So I'm also ambidextrous. I was born using left, but I also cultivated using my right hand growing up. Then I'm a community mobilizer. My work actually, warrants me to go around communities, especially underserved communities to teach and help teachers in transforming or moving from this theoretical way of teaching to a practical way. So I love food, and you can also call me Chippy. So that's that for me in a nutshell. So I'll be talking about a radical shift in education must come first. So I understand that we're going to be talking about STEM, but we also need to address our education system. We have a lot of similarities, not just in Nigeria, but in West Africa and some parts of Eastern Africa. So let me get started. Yeah. Okay. So I jotted this down, and something happened last week. I have a sister that works in a bank, and she was really lamenting. She was concerned. I would not blame her for lamenting. She complained of how the banking system in Nigeria gets to open call for interns, and now you open call for interns, and they serve for say 6 months, 1 year, and at the end of the day the system is not ready to absorb them. They now throw them back into the society. So that's one instance that she noted. But I also told her that it's not just about the system. We also need to refine our education system. I'll give you an example. I graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife. Some people say that it's a very tough university. I agree. But I've had friends when I was in school who, they got started reading medicine or they got started reading computer science. And in the second year, they are dropping out. They are either moving to psychology, sociology, or French, just foreign languages. So the retention rates from the start is really, really poor. And you get to ask them the questions. They always pinpoint 3 major issues. One is that the system is not making it conducive for them to learn. There is no motivation. So you find out that either teachers or lecturers are not serving as role models, number one, or they are not, making learning to be exciting for these people. Before you know it, they get so frustrated and they start going into those courses. I'm not saying that those courses are not good, but it's just that their dreams are already being cut down in that first place, because they were coming out from secondary schools hoping to be doctors, or they could be data scientists, and at the end of the day the system is not just favorable. So I noted here that a refined education system that can encourage young women and girls in science and technology fields will help our workforce. And our education system also have to be changed. You realize that our education system is still the same years ago. I went across my niece's social studies textbook. You find out that even when we're young, they tell us that in social studies, the role of a father is to provide for the family. Now, funny thing is, it's still the same thing that is in that social studies book. But, there should be a refined way of explaining these things, because right now the world is teaching women to be self-reliant. So if you're saying a mother is to stay at home and take care of the family, now things are changing. Women are becoming entrepreneurs, wonderful entrepreneurs. Women are becoming problem solvers. They're becoming thoughtful leaders. So that orientation or that mindset needs to change, and it starts with refining what these younger generations are, what these younger generations are receiving from the school, and also putting in skills as little as collaborative skills as little as critical thinking skills or problem solving skills and all. So I'll be going forward and I would share what it means for this as our continent in Nigeria. In Africa. So this is education and skills. And you find out that a refined education system is the one that can absorb or teach students with skills. Now, skills I mean is 21st century skills, skills of future purposes, future focused options. So these skills, having these skills in this our education system is going to help us build young innovators. Young innovators that should be able to think, young innovators that should be able to create. Because in statistics, we find out that the future economic growth of any country in any continent depends on an aligned education system that supports future-focused options in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and innovation. So go to my next slide. Now, I asked here, what does a young innovator look like in Africa? First things first, a young innovator in Africa should be unafraid, because we know that we have pending challenges in the continent. But as a young innovator, we don't get to see the problems, we don't get to see the challenges. The question we ask ourselves is, what do we do in this given challenge? How can we create a solution out of this challenge? Or how can we think outside the box even when we are in the box? So a young innovator is also a winner. You see positivity, you don't see negativity. A young leader is tenacious. I have, someone was sharing the story, although I need to also get to understand how you, in Nigeria, you may have heard about this NIN issue and how that and all. So she wants to design a kind of application that can help people, and she can, get to send this data to NIN. But I was very curious because I was asking, okay, how are you going to capture their thumbprints and all? But the in thing about it is she's looking at how she can help young people like her, and how to, see how people spend days, in the NIN office trying to register. She's looking at how she can help other people so that they can go about their activities while she does that. A young innovator is also a role model. They are pioneers, they are policy drivers. Policy drivers, I mean, is they are seeing this issue and they're looking at how to advocate, how to lend their voices to either the legislative arm of government, or whether it's to the local
Hello, I think we lost connection with Amanda.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
Oh, okay, maybe we should give her like a minute to get back on.
for a while. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm in a village, so maybe that's why my network is so so unstable. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm in a village, so maybe that's sorry. Let me share my screen. Let me continue. So I don't know where I was where my network stopped, but this was where I was practically when I realized that I was offline. So this is statistics, metrics that are already showing us about the need for our education system to move from where it used to be, to move from the system that it was designed for, maybe probably in the 70s and in the 80s, to come down to the 21st century skills. Now, first things first, over 95% of our jobs have become automated. For example, in the bank, usually before you can always stand on the queue waiting for your money, but now ATM has done that. For example, you can be in your houses and can transfer money. You don't necessarily like for example, I can't remember the last time I went to the bank. Everything has just been through my phone. So now, but we should be asking ourselves, now that a lot of jobs have become automated, what happens to the people and what happens to the system that can manage this existing or this new system change? And I also pointed out there was a research by the ITU that talked about tens of millions of jobs that are available for people with advanced digital skills in the coming years. Now, for our education system to move from where it used to be, we need to start looking inwardly and start integrating certain kind of skills, digital skills, STEM skills. I always like clamping down on STEM because science and technology, trust me, has come to stay. We need to start integrating this into our education system, whether it's on the primary level or whether it's on the tertiary level. Now, if you also look at the research by the AERC, they also talked about the women. Now, the women are still underrepresented in this field and in STEM. So we stated that 30.5 million women are unemployed and 95.8 young workers are employed, but they're living in abject poverty due to a significant STEM-related skill gap. Take, for instance, me. I didn't have a background in science and technology. I read business administration, but I had issues after reading that because after I finished, getting a job was a big challenge for me. I was depressed. I was just so I don't know. I was so sad about everything, sad about my life, regretting that why didn't I do something, very lucrative, because I found out that the the opportunities that were out there that were for jobs require technical skills that I didn't have. So skills as little as computation, data science, and all. We find out that it was existing. Sometimes you go for a job interview, they tell you, okay, we'll get back to you. And at the end of the day, they don't get back to you. They rather pick someone that has that skill. And my journey changed when somebody introduced me to the IBM. IBM was training certain number of people in Lagos on data science and business intelligence. Now, it was even so tough for me because I didn't have a background in computer at all. But, when I went there, I found out that, see, if you need to change, you need to put in all your best. And trust me, when I did that, I found out that there were a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs that were waiting for people, but people cannot embrace those jobs because they don't have the skills. In IBM, we found out that they were recruiting a lot of expatriates. Expatriates were coming into Nigeria because they have the skills. But you are finishing from the university, even if you have a first class, you are still, where you are. And that was when my journey in STEM began, because I found out that even if I finished reading in data science, I had like an Explorer award in it. I just didn't want to go into the job market. I needed to, help young people like me that probably didn't have any idea on wonderful skills and wonderful opportunities in STEM, to start bringing them out. And that was when we began to train people, enlighten them about future focused options in technology, whether the ones that are untapped, whether the ones that are unseen, or whether the ones that people are underrepresented. So that's it. Then another one is ILO, by the International Labour. They estimate that 66% of employment, that's over 80 million jobs, face a risk of automation globally. So we are not even done with automation. Automation will still keep on happening. AI is happening, robotic engineering is happening, but we should be asking ourselves, are we prepared to start managing these resources that, that are going to be coming into the economy? It's not as if they're going to be stealing our jobs. We should rather be positioning ourselves to be innovators, to help manage this technology. So these are statistics, but I would also talk about the last metrics that we found out. So now, if technology, keeps on increasing, by 2050, some 1/3 of Africa's 1 billion young people will lack basic proficiency in math, reading, and other subjects. Millions will be unemployed and unproductive. Now, this still boils down to this radical shift that needs to change. We need to change our curriculum. We need to come out from that mentality that father provides for more than children. Right now, children should be trained, or children should have a mentality that irrespective of my age, I can create. Women, the same thing. Wives, the same thing. That irrespective of taking care of my family or my children, I should be an entrepreneur. I can have these skills, whether I'm a stay-at-home mom, I can have digital skills that can also help my family. So, sorry, I'll soon be rounding off. I don't want to talk too much. So, yes, this is a sad reality. And going by this chart, you find out that the high-income countries have and would learn minimum secondary level skills, while the low-level or low-income countries or communities would lack skills. So what does this tell you? It tells you that there is a glaring fragmentation of the low-income countries and the high-income countries. I can tell you for a fact that there are certain schools in Lagos, for example, that they're in primary 4, primary 5. They have started teaching them as little as robotics. They've started teaching them computation. But there are schools in secondary like secondary schools in the East. Presently now, I'm in Oka. We have a project here. Some don't even know what STEM is. Some children haven't even seen as little as microscope. So is that bad? It's telling you that the high income countries or communities are more prepared for the jobs of the future. They are more prepared for opportunities out there, because why? They have the infrastructure, but the low income do not have the infrastructure. So it's a call for action where we can be able to set out infrastructure, data infrastructure, facilities infrastructure for them. Like last year, you see that COVID happened, e-learning took place. Some schools or some children could afford it, but some low income couldn't afford it. So this is a time to start investing in low income communities. And we should also come to the fact that data, internet should become a basic facility. Yes, basic, because right now things are changing. The internet technology has come to stay. It would be wrong to leave these low income communities feeling deprived. I'm rounding off. Okay, so I drew this table, like where we are and where we are going. So right now, technology has, come to stay in our modern workplace. But right now, on the other part, we should be able to design our curriculum. We should be able to change our modes of learning. There should be collaborative skills, critical thinking skills being integrated into schools. For example, they could teach you on friction, but students just hear it like, okay, just only on pen and paper, or just only from board. They should be able to come together like in 4s or in 5s and say, how can we be able to apply friction to ensure that this is an experiential learning? So moving from a theoretical way to a more practical dimension. So another thing, like I said, is these kids should be These skills should be learned and taught in both low in and middle income communities. Then investments in young mind and inclusion is important. Inclusion, I mean, is people living with disabilities, young women and girls, because the development of a nation statistically shows that women contribute to the development of a nation. So there should be inclusion. So it's not just only targeted to the highbrow people or able people. We should be looking at putting young women and girls into these opportunities. Then education innovation, digital fluency and STEM skills, lifelong learning pathways should be applied. Sorry, I'm rounding off. Just give me. Okay, so like this quote from Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. I would like to give it as a mantle for us in Africa. You see first world countries like Singapore, the USA, South Korea, they are investing so much in research and development. They are researching so much in education. It's high time we start putting in infrastructures and start enabling the education institution to ensure that students are able to transition from education to employment, or they can transition from education to entrepreneurs, so that they can create jobs, for the future. So that's all for now. If you please have questions, please feel free to share.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you so much for such an insightful presentation on how we can improve on our educational system in Nigeria and how technology skills can also be incorporated into any chosen career. And thank you for sharing your story as well. So please, if you have any question you want to ask Amanda, feel free to drop your question in the chat or the Q&A icon. So I think we should move to the next agenda. So if any questions should come in, we would address that later. Okay, thank you. So the next panel discussion, which will be moderated by Dr. Joker. So Dr. Joker.
Thank you, Kafaya. You can hear me? I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, yes.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here again back in this Wakren Eko-Konnect family. I was also one of the first, I participated in the 2018 physical computing women in STEM workshop for 1 week that we had in Unilag. And I must say that event was a turning point for me because well, I've been in academics. I've been doing a lot of machine learning stuff before that time, but I had but there was a niche, I had a certain niche before that time. So walking into that space, someone just called, no, my vice chancellor just called me and said, you need to be in Unilag for something quickly. And so when I got them, like a whole week off, and then, but it was training on Python. It was exciting. That room was charged every day of the week for every day that week, 5 days. And for me, that was the beginning of picking on new tools, Python, Raspberry Pi, and all of that. And I've been able to do wonders with it, actually, from that time till now. Now, so I gave that background today because we are going to be discussing very importantly today, even though I don't know how much time I have. Kafaya, could you let me know, please? I was trying to check if you gave total for this pan for this.
Yeah, sorry. I said each of the panelists have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the questions.
Okay, so in total for this session, do you have, or we should just, because you have a lot of questions here.
The time. That's the time estimate, 1 to 2 minutes for each person. And I think we have like
You have like 8 questions or thereabout.
yes, 8 questions.
So okay, all right, thank you. I'll figure that out. All right, thank you. So I hope this time we'll be able to have a very a very exciting discourse that will help not only the the attendees, the participants here today, to be able to make some definite decisions and maybe to also impact, our local environment, our community around us. But I hope it will also help a whole lot of other people that might be watching this way after now. Okay, so one of the first things that we want to talk about, because this is about exploring strategies for effective inclusion. And by the way, I need to congratulate Amanda for that brilliant, brilliant presentation. Thank you. So I'm going to be taking one or two, I want to take a cue from our presentation. And for me, I think this is now the point where we talk about specific things that we can do, talking about people that has to, especially women, girls out there that need to know about STEM and not only know about it, whether they have a science background or not, but how they can get into it. What can we do? What do we need to put out there? We have participated in a program, one program or the other before, and it has helped us. That's why we came back here today. So how can we strategize? How can we include people much more to have something like a broader sense of inclusion, participation that will yield positive results, like you think. So I'm going to be I want to just break this into, maybe I'll do just 5 questions. I've tried to compress the questions into 5. I think the first important thing that we need to talk about today is that just like suddenly 2020 came, there was a pandemic, and whether we liked it or not, it forced all of us to go virtual. And then we had to go virtual for months. Nobody had any choice. We were not prepared for it. So, but it also opened our eyes to a lot of things. So I would be asking the panelists question, my first question that I want us to discuss today is that, okay, because of that pandemic, there are a lot of online courses all over the place this day. But over time, there had been, low participation. I don't know if during that COVID period you tried to pick new skills. I don't know if you tried to upskill and all that, but there has been this issue of low participation. Okay, so can we first of all itemize or bring out what we think is the problem or the reason why we are having low participation? Why there was a time that the tools were not there, it was far-fetched, but now they are there. Why is it that people are not participating or pulling it through? So I would want to start, if you permit me, I want to start with I don't know which one. Okay, let me start with a letter, if you will, let me call you that. I don't know if it's okay if we could just go. I would have gone by first names, but I don't know the first names here. So Miss or Mrs. Eleta, I don't know.
Miss.
Yes, if you pardon me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the enlightenment is very low. Like I never heard of things like this until someone just sent me the link for Wakren hackathon. That was 2019. And that was how I came to know about it. And coming back, of course, the people around me here don't know what all the joy I had within me. And when you are the only one, you get discouraged because you get to a point, you get stuck, and you don't have someone around you, to put you through most of those things. So the awareness is very low.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Anifa.
Okay. Hi everyone. So I would like to kind of go back to a little bit of roots where we have home factors, societal factors. There's been a lot of history where the female child is, known to take care of the home and known to stay at home. So most of the time they're always pushed into careers or into school courses like, home courses or go into banking or go into more of those less of STEM, right? So we have girls that are being assigned to more duties at home. Girls are mostly in the kitchen. So I doubt there will be even any much time for such girls even if they have had those opportunity to continue with those learning. So they have more stuff to do at home. They are the ones taking care of their brothers. I mean, they're the ones taking care of the home. And so it's kind of a little bit difficult to bridge that gap. Society is expecting a certain kind of perfect fit for a woman or a certain kind of perfect fit for a man. So those kind of attitude or view would really affect, participation in STEM activities. So yeah, and also even in schools, we have teachers, we have lecturers that also are not so much enlightened in making sure that they don't unconsciously beat down the female child, especially in mathematics, and it's always seen in the women world. I mean, y'all are amazing, and you have people in engineering. Wow. So yeah, I think those are one of those things that really affects participation.
Okay. Thank you, Anifa. Salome?
For me, it would be that, especially those that are not really into STEM, the old mentality that this thing is hard, and it's a virtual meeting, so they are not really sure there will be someone that would put them through when they have issues. So I guess the problem is having someone to meet when you have problems with learning.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saloma. Can we, Temilade?
All right. I like all the points that everybody has made with respect to societal stroke cultural issue, as well as not having persons to like put them through when they have like issues. I also feel that using COVID as an example, as much as there was also like low participation, I feel that the right data was some persons started, but maybe like say for example, there was like 70% persons starting, but you now have like 20% of them finishing whatever course they started. So I feel that one major issue is like commitment issue, because there is no scheduled meeting time, there's no timetable that okay, 9 to this thing, to do this particular module 1, 10 to 11, do this particular module. Many students, especially those who are like bad procrastinators, they may find themselves cramming for assignments and deadlines, and maybe it's like 1 week to the deadline of the course. They all just rush and do it, and they don't like get the best out of it. Aside that, to be very honest, I realized that even using myself as an example, during that COVID period, there were a lot of online courses competing for my attention. You get this ingressive scholarship, you ask this scholarship, you have like 10 courses to do, and you're starting each of them halfway, and you find out that in the end, you really like don't finish everything. So if I am to like advise in that aspect, I feel that every student should learn how to like start something and finish. Don't start one and see there's an opportunity, you apply for that one, you start that one. And also I feel that students are used to regular interactions with lecturers in class. Their online learning is still like sort of new, where you don't like have to like, you don't have like group work where you get to like talk with your colleagues and things like that. So that interaction, that physical interaction doesn't make it effective for some students. They prefer where they're like physically gathered with their colleagues and things like that. So those are like 3 major factors I would say that affect low turnout when it comes to online courses.
All right. Thank you, Temilade. Victoria?
Okay, I really like the all different ideas people have put forward, especially with Temilade's idea about the fact that we all wanted to like get new skills, so we're applying to this and applying to that, and eventually we could not be committed enough. So I myself didn't finish the course. I myself didn't finish the course, but it was more or less because I was, as she said, you're used to the fact that, oh, well, I have my timetable every day. By 9 to 5, I know I have this course. By 9 to 10, I know I have this course. So the fact that we are all still new to the idea of self-paced learning by yourself. So it's more or less you deciding for yourself that, okay, I want to, at this time, it's like drawing up a personal timetable for yourself so that you yourself can like be committed enough to finish what you started basically. And some other people might have had like internet issues because since the courses are online, we also have to look at the Nigerian factor of the fact that some people do not have light. I remember there was a week my transformer of my estate like blew and we were in darkness for that week. So definitely all those things, data issues, all those things like reduce your motivation or your passion for like online learning too.
Thank you, Victoria. Valikis?
Hi, okay, thank you. From my own perspective, although everybody has said well, but I think the issue is with us. First thing I think is you have to have your self-discipline, your confidence, and do you really want to do this thing? Because there's no how you'll be doing something as a person. You should have your targets, and then you focus on your targets, because you have distractions. But if you don't have focus and you on your targets, you might be carried away with those distractions. What everybody has said is true, ranging from the cultural something, girls has to be home, data's issue, there's no lie, something like that. But one thing I believe is that once you have your own targets, all those things, they would come. But at least you should have it at the back of your mind that you are going to face challenges. So what are the plans that you put in place to put these challenges aside? And besides, okay, let me talk from my own point of view. Me as a mother, what am I even doing to introduce my own kids, especially the girl, to this STEM? So we should also start from our own end. Not to talk of, let's just think about the teachers or the community alone. What are we also doing from our own end? Like Manifa said, we all think most home they think kids and females should be in the kitchen or something. Some of us here are mothers and some are going to be mothers. We can change that. Once your child thinks she wants to learn this thing, she is interested in STEM. So what are the things you put in place to make sure that our dreams come true? So I think all these challenges, as we are mentioning, it has been there, but we just have to make one or two things to just put a stop or try to adjust these challenges. Thank you. That's my own point.
Okay. Thank you very much, Teresa.
All right, can we hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I'll start from the experience that I had recently, about 2 weeks ago, or a week thereabout. I put out a flyer for Python free training. My intention was to train people on Python online. So the response within 48 hours was kind of amazing. Like about 81 people have already registered. So I was excited. Oh, people are ready to learn. They are willing to learn online and stuff. So I closed the responses. I stopped receiving responses and sent mail to them. When I sent the mail, people replied, "Oh, we're excited. We can't wait to be in the class as well." Well, the first day I started the training, people trooped in like, okay, 15, 20, 30. By the time there was network issue, they started leaving one by one, one after the other and stop. So the second day, I see out of 81 people that responded, about 10. So the average after that was around 10, 11. What am I trying to drive out? I think for online participation to be low, it's not in all cases that it's because people are not serious or they are not dedicated. There are some things that it's kind of, they are unavoidable, like some that have been discussed by other people, like the inconsistency in power, the high bandwidth consumption of platform that are being used, like Zoom. Zoom actually consumes data. Like another thing can be the stack up of schedule that they have, and it can be an issue if the timing does not favor them. I noticed someone attended from Canada, and then the timing that we chose here in Nigeria was not suitable for her, so it's always night for her over there and stuff. So there are different things that can be a form of hindrance. Another thing that I noticed is that if they are coming in to attend a class online, their imagination is okay. They've offline, they've been doing a lot of theoretical approach and all. So coming online again, they want to see a kind of a new dimension of teaching and all. But they are coming and the content is still theory and theory upon theory. So it can be discouraging. They'll be like, okay, I can get a PDF on this and then learn. But yeah, that can be an issue. Another issue is high percentage of students actually they are not technically inclined to use all these online platform or tools. You will start a class and then somebody is not muted, somebody is shouting, somebody is so different distraction here and there. So my advice basically is if we say because there are some little technical challenges or data or internet or lights, and then everybody is pulling out. When exactly do we want to start building this STEM for the future generation that are coming? So we can't actually pull out now. So we have to still keep on being consistent and then keep pursuing it. Another thing is motivation. Like I think it was Temnari that said it. Motivate yourself, because self-paced learning, no lecturer is there to pursue you. You are at your comfort zone. So it's you that will have to do the work.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you, Teresa. It looks like we lost that there, but yeah, she said a lot of interesting things. I like that angle from experience. Deborah.
Okay, everyone has said well. I would like to include that for most of these courses, online courses and resources, there are no follow-up like materials to check if you are really on track. For instance, if you are aspiring to be a software engineer and then you see a programming course, the programming course is meant to be like an intro to your career path. So there's nobody to put it through and to tell you that, oh, after taking the programming course, you can move on to this. So the for most of the online resources, I think they should be more structured, and um they should be more structured in a way that you know what to do next after completing each one. Also, I think um another part of another factor that affects low participation is the work experience and some practice. So many of us take online courses, we learn, watch the videos, read the materials, but we don't really know the real life applications of what we are learning. So for instance, now I participated in the computing course, the Wakren computing course in 2018. So for me to understand more, for me to learn more about what I've learned, like I applied for an internship in a metering company in Nigeria, and my experience, like during my internship, I was able to practice more, do more of the projects I was taught like during the Wakren program. So we suggest like the solution one of the solutions to this problem is work experience. We need work experience, like internship opportunities. As you are learning about after completing a particular course, you're focused, you are committed to it. What's the next phase? You need to meet people, real life situation application of what you've learned. And with I believe with that your confidence will be built, and you'll be able to follow through for the career path you've chosen. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you. That was really nice. At some point later in this session, I would be asking the audience to also share one or two things. So if at any point you have any thoughts in your mind, you can drop it actually in the chat so that we can also pick it. Thank you very much. Okay, so I would want us to be able to take something home from here today, particularly some sort of strategy. I know Kafayat will really love to get the joker here today, that she can always have like 1,000 people in STEM, women, girls in STEM, every year, and move them on. So I think we should, we'll build up this discussion today quickly. The first thing I want us to talk about is number one. So we have all talked about participation and the reason why. So we are also going to provide solution to it anyway. So number one is that, what do we think are interesting areas, interesting IT areas or STEM areas that we think can be introduced? I know Kafaya really wants to hear this. That can be introduced or that can be focused on, that can help a lot of people, that I think, just like Victoria was saying, something that can go straight into applications and possibly something that can bring in money really fast and it's not Yahoo Yahoo. All right, okay, so that's what I would want us to talk. So I would want to start this time around. Maybe I start the other way. So Deborah, do you have an answer to that? I would just actually just call us. Interesting areas, what do you think?
Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities, especially for ladies, like interested in STEM and let me say tech in particular. And the pay rate is very high, is amazing. So but the problem has always been like not qualified enough for these opportunities. So yeah, I believe there are a lot of opportunities. We just get our ladies equipped, get them trained, have the enough experiences, and then we start getting the money. There are a lot of money in tech now.
Okay, so but I wanted you to say something about a particular area, maybe mention something. What should we equip people with? Yeah, what exactly?
Should we equip them with?
Yes, so maybe I would let you think about that a little bit. Similarly.
All right, I think that if I'm to answer this question, it's not news that technology as a field is it's really broad. There are lots of like various opportunities there. But I think that one major mistake a lot of persons make, or the way we've been fed, is until you code. Everybody does until you type codes or you press code. That's when you are in tech. It's amazing that there are even other amazing opportunities in tech that you don't necessarily have to write codes. But don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean you should not have an idea of how a code works or how it runs or how codes are being deployed. But it means that when you begin to like function in that particular role, you don't necessarily have to be writing Python or Java or C++. And the amazing thing about these roles I'm talking about, some of them even pay more than roles that require you to be like, to be a programmer in quotes, if I could use that word. So I feel that I know a number of persons who have, females now, who have tried the tech space, who have tried to learn how to code, but it doesn't, not everybody will be a programmer. Let's just clarify that. Not everybody will have to like learn how to code. But there are other like tech fields where you don't necessarily need to learn how to code, like say product management or project management, even in tech, and you can work in one of the top tech companies, say the likes of Google, Microsoft, earn your amazing money, help them provide solutions to problems, help them in managing the products from scratch to finish, and you still be an active woman in tech. So I feel that women will like want to be in tech, but they feel that, oh, maybe because they don't have like a strong background in tech and they don't know how to code, I feel that they could like begin to like explore such areas. We also have the likes of SEO, that's search engine optimizers. We have software analysts and a number of other amazing, maybe UI UX designers, where you don't necessarily have to code and you'll be a woman in tech. But to be very honest, I want to like come from Amanda's angle. Amanda shared her story that she studied business, if I recollect well. Yeah. And now, yes, she's a data analyst. I believe that data analytics is actually a field that if you're open-minded and you're ready to learn, you can do amazingly well and do well for yourself in the tech field. Yes, it requires coding, but it's something that you can easily relate with. It's a kind of field that you can easily relate with if you're like open-minded. So those are like my two options. Either you go for courses or discipline in tech that doesn't require you to code, But of course, don't get me wrong, that does not mean you should not have like idea of what is even happening in the tech space, what coding involves, or you go for the likes of data analytics that they are relatable, you can relate them to business, you can relate them to other things. And so those are like the two advice I have basically.
All right.
I hope I answered the question.
Yes, you did. I like the part where you actually mentioned what exactly. So product management, project management, data science, business intelligence. Balikis?
Okay, thank you. What Temilade said, she's right. Like a certain percentage, but what me I would think we should do is like for women, like she said, coding it might not be very easy for everybody, especially women. Don't let us lie to each other. So what I think we can do is that whatever each woman is doing, maybe you should just check how you can use IT to improve what you are doing. For instance, now, if you look at schools, new generation schools now, they're using IT in impacting knowledge to their kids, even as early as from kindergarten, because the way they teach them that time, like for instance, now if you want to read, they say you should go for all these Queen Premier, I is up, I go up. But now, even the schools that they established now, they use the kind of tech. There are some things that they download, they use for those kids, and then reading just is just easy for them. So just to make this easy for us, don't let's just think everybody is going to leave their field and then just come into the world of IT. Maybe we should just tell them to what you are doing. How do you think IT can improve what you are doing? It could be in terms of business, it could be in terms of education, it could be in terms of data or something. So I think with that, we will be able to open the other women eye more to IT, because it's not as if we are taking them away from their field, but we want them to integrate IT into what they are doing. With that, I think from there they will have the interest, and even they can, once they are there, they are using IT to help themselves in their field, they will be more interested in what other field that IT can help them. That's just my own
Okay.
point.
Thank you, Balikis. Anifa?
Okay, so I totally agree with what Baliki said. I mean, there are a lot. IT is here to stay. I mean, Amanda kind of mentioned that a lot of times. So, and one of the ways when I was kind of researching ways to kind of help women inclusion in our strategy for at Ingressive for Good, one of the ways I found out was women are natural naturals, right? So as much as society kinds of puts that label on us as human, or as we are built, or as we come into this world, we have a natural sense of helping, a natural sense of building. I mean, if you go into areas where we're looking at world development, we're looking at reducing plastic waste, stuff like that, you see majority of women leading that conversation. So I would like us to, think in that direction where whatever technology it is that you're introducing to a woman or to a group of women should be stuffs that would help in developing the world, in helping people. Dear women gets to become more interested, right? So a lot of us are doing NGO work. We are ready to do things for free. And as much as we want to get paid as well, we get satisfaction from things, from technology or whatever it is we are doing that helps other people. So for example, I kind of found some examples that I would like to share. Political engagements. We have an amazing woman working towards mobile development that helps in getting people around the world votes, get political engagement to make sure that even if you're in the rural, because I mean, mobile is going worldwide. So even if you're in the rural areas, you're able to, put your own point of view out in the political arena. There's also the use of UI to translate business into analytics, into meaningful action. So just like Baliki said, even if you're in the business space, you're able to use IT, you're able to use AI to help your business as a person. We also have I don't know how to explain this. It's called enterprise interoperability. So we have people in the design space, is also tech, right? We have people in business, we have people in coding. Now, how do all these people work together to make sure that they build something? So there's closing of the large gaps in between these spaces. So women are the ones actually leading all these conversations that I've mentioned. So I think we should like move into the direction of how do women help other people in IT, and then women gets to become more interested.
All right, thank you, Teresa. Thank you very much, Anita. Teresa?
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would like to take my own from this angle. Like, we look at the time now, COVID and everything that is happening around. I think we should just look at some things that where we are in. We have so many companies moving their data, moving their platform online or on the cloud. One area that can be focused on is blockchain, which is what will actually is common now and will still be common.
Okay. Looks like we lost her again, right? Okay, but thank God she gets to mention blockchain. Can we have Salome? You need to unmute. Unmute, Salome.
Sorry. Okay, so for me, I really don't know because I believe that everybody has an interest. So it's not like just pushing a course to them. It's like putting course, like everybody has their own interest. So it's not really about the course, it's about the interest of the people. The course is about the interest of the people. Do you get my point?
I do. Thank you.
Yes. Well,
Yeah, thank you. Eliza.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would say, other than coding, because like the mentality I used to have about coding was that programmers have no life. They are always on their computers, and that actually really scared me. And but I told myself I should also look at some other things that I could do. And somehow I stumbled into NGNOC, the Network Operators Group, and I started my journey on server administration because and that is also part of tech, server administration, network administration, and at least even when you learn hands-on, you are still able to do some things without you don't really have to code, but of course you have some aspect of coding, but we could also have more people, ladies, in the area of server administration and network administration.
Okay. Thank you. That's really insightful. I think one take home for all of us here today, there's one thing. This was what also came to my mind when preparing for this. I thought about it that there are some things that you don't need to beg women to do. That is just natural with women. I know, for example, that if you want to look at the statistics of how many women are trying to sell something on Instagram, for example, the percentage will be super, super high. I've not checked that before. So just like Anifa was saying, and just like, because that's like me rounding up everything that we have all said, one important thing is that we need to get to meet the women where they are. And then if you put IT in their hands, the IT should help them do what they do, what they're already doing, to do it better. And I think that's where all this idea of STEM, whether I have a science background or not, is also. So I was going to also now mention that it was during the lockdown too that I noticed that Google has a lot of things out there to help businesses, to help entrepreneurs, and all of that. So they had all this, I'm trying to remember what they call it. I think I'll check it up. So
digital marketing.
Yeah, digital marketing, exactly. Something on digital marketing. Because if we have to put IT in the hands of women, or if you want women to be step STEM inclined, as it were, then it has to be to achieve. It has to be towards a certain end, not IT as being the end. And some people can code very well; they live their lives coding, but some people want to talk. Like I have a sister, we are like parallel. So she wants to talk. She wants to meet people every day. She wants to talk every second if possible. So she does marketing, but she does digital marketing. So this that and that's also good for her. So if we all agree that this is it, so Kafayas, I know you have some takeaway that maybe we want to do more than coding on the
Yes,
platform.
I do. In fact,
Okay.
I can't stop myself, stop writing. I mean, jotting down all of the great points.
Okay. Thank you. So if I would go on, please can we just like we have all said, can we suggest structure? What structure can be adopted? Because I know on this platform, just like Afara indicated before, I think they want to also come up with something, and this can also be useful for anybody listening. Just like Teresa that tried to float a Python course for people, just NGO-ish, like we always love to do. So, can we suggest a structure that you think will work? There's a structure already on ground now, right, for virtual classes or for online learning. What structure do you think will work? So please, this time I'm going to have to cut you once it's 2 minutes. So when you see me do this, then that means it's time to stop. All right, please. Okay, so what structure do you think will work? Yes, please. So let me start with a letter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Structure that will work.
Yeah.
Like the online courses, because somehow by the time you are done online, there is no follow-up.
Yeah, okay.
So if we have like all these little niches here and there, where women come together that is close to them, after you've learned online, you can come together and discuss and kind of encourage one another.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. I really like that. Salome?
I agree with Eleta. I think that's the way out. That's the right structure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Deborah?
Okay, so apart from the trainings that we have on ground, I would like them to include mentorship. So each participant should be assigned to a mentor, or maybe like 5 participants to a mentor to follow up on their activities and their learnings. Also, if possible, to provide work experience, like where they can really practice what they've learned, and community engagement, like Miss Eleta said, if you have a community whereby you can always reach out to if you have any question, I think that would work. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you so much. Victoria.
Well, I agree with what everybody has said, because collaborative learning and mentorship actually works very well. Because I just thought back to a boot camp I attended like some month ago, and that was exactly what happened. The fact that we had the community to always reach out to, we had people we could go to when we had issues. Those were things that actually that was a structure that actually worked really well for us.
Okay, and are you still working?
Oh yes, we are still keeping in touch, definitely, yes.
Okay, thank you, Balikis.
Okay, thank you. I think people have said a lot. The way out, we cannot limit it to only online or something. Like Eleta said, we should just try to do a kind of a follow up and then try to come together, and let's see if people that are close to each other, if they can just come together and then discuss and share ideas. I think it's still going to help us. Then, if I get the question right, are you saying just for older women or what? Because
No.
if we for everybody,
So
Yeah,
if we want
girls.
to take this, yes,
Yeah.
girls, I think then we should catch them young. We should just try as much as possible to see a way where we can meet these girls right from their secondary school days, even primary school. So if we can do that, I think the interest, and then we do a proper follow-up, not that we just leave them after leaving the primary school, secondary school, we think, okay, they are already interested to the university level. So if we can just monitor them right from the cradle, I think we have a better story to tell in future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anifa.
Okay, yeah. So I kind of agree with most of what everybody has said, especially in terms of mentorship, the community. I mean, a lot of what we do at Aggressive for Good also incorporates those, and they have really helped a lot. But to kind of be specific in terms of women, I would say have more women in those classes, have more women teaching, have more women role models, have more women in all these events, the hackathon, the boot camps, have more women in those spaces. Also to introduce inclusive languages. I mean, our local languages. We should
Local
not
language.
forget our African roots. So we should include our Yoruba, our Hausa, all this. It makes women more comfortable from research, and definitely work experience, and to also give a lot of information about the STEM workplace and how the STEM environment is to women. Yeah, it helps a lot. So
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Similarly.
Well, I feel that the structure we have is all right, but it could be better. What I mean by it could be better, I mean that, for example, we are talking about online courses. Just like we explained, that some of the reasons why some of us don't complete these online courses, maybe we get distracted, we don't know how to stay committed. So maybe if like the students or participants are like groups, so that they have group members they can like interact with, even when they have issues, so they are not like discouraged and they just like opt out. Then also, I feel that for online courses where students or participants don't have the avenue to like interact with their lecturers or tutor every time, maybe once a week there could be Ask Me Anything session where all the students assemble together and what they've learned for like the past 1 week, maybe any issues they begin to like have that discussion with the tutor and the person explains very well. Then also I remember that Teresa said that when she started our course, some persons began to like drop out because of internet issues. I feel that if there could be like practical recorded sessions where they just download it at once and there is no process where the internet is breaking in between, they have like the video handy, and when they have issues, they can always refer back to the video. Let me see how my tutor did this. Let me see, instead of, after the session, they don't have access to the video again. I feel that, just like Debbie said, after a particular online course, it's best when the student has like a project to work on. And of course, when there's a mentor to guide the person, then there's something they do outside the country that we don't do here in Africa a lot, which is called shadow a leader. Shadow a leader, they even do it as far as in secondary schools, where a student is for 2 weeks shadows like a CEO or works and sees the way a CEO. Maybe, for example, I just finished a course on data analytics. I work closely with a data analyst for like 2 weeks, see how the person works. It makes me understand what I'm about to get into. And the last thing I will say is I feel that online courses should be spiced up and made more interesting. Let me give an example. I'm presently taking an online course on foundation of leadership, and my lecturer is not, so it's like an online course. His lecturer is not here in Nigeria. And we do 2 weeks of amazing class. Then the third week, all we do is analyze a movie. We all watch a movie that explains the last 2 concepts we've learned. We watch a movie, talk about it, discuss it on the group, and it makes the course more interesting and exciting. And of course, a lot of tech movies for women, or even it could be just something to spice it up and make sure that they're having like not so serious interaction, but it also relates back to the course they are studying or the discipline of the online course they are doing. So I just feel that we have to spice up our online courses and make them more interesting and engaging.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I know we all have a lot of things to say, but looks like our time is kind of up. I don't know, Kafayat, if I have one, like how many minutes to let everybody say like a final word. But before we go into that, I quickly want to say, I want to summarize this as, I think one thing important that I saw everybody speak about is that as women, we like to be supported. So there must be some kind of support group. So for example, if you do data science, you can go online to some platforms like Kaggle. So Kaggle will let you practice, and you can also participate in competitions where you can earn some money. So apart from some, women like to talk. If you call any gathering, it's always women that would be always much more than men. So there must be that support group, whether we do it over all these our social media platform, even if it's WhatsApp, So that group where people can, but there must be also, so, and when women come together in that support group, there must be a reward system. Because if there's an association of market women, for example, they are coming together maybe so that they can know how to make more money, right? Or have a cooperative, something to, when you need money for your business, you know where to go to. So I think we should do that same, we should use that same structure too for IT, to support women. So there must be a reward. So when people come together and join that WhatsApp group, or they join that, that's online support team or anything, or even if it's local, what is it that they are gaining at the end of the day? I think it will really help to move things forward to a very large extent. So thank you today for everyone for the parts that we have all shared. And I appreciate also all the very important points that we have spoke about. The UX, I think that's also important. I know people today that they are not even trying to deal with programming. They are just going into how do you prepare a very user friendly interfaces. That's what they are good at. They're just good with designing stuff, and that's what they do. So anything that we are good at, the take home today is that there's nothing that you are doing that IT can support. And if IT can support it, then you are included in this STEM business, and then you can do it. Thank you very much, Kafayat. Thank you to all panelists. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was such. I mean, in fact, my book is already full already with the great points that you all have highlighted. I think we should quickly move to the next topic discussion by Margaret. So thank you so much, Dr. Joke. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Kafaya.
Hi, Margaret. Oh, okay.
Hello. I'm so pleased to join this session, and it's very, very interesting. And on the other side, it's a bit sad as well, because what I'm hearing now from your side, I'm hearing already for 25 years. That means I started with women empowerment in the 90s at the university. And still today, we hear the same stories, but we hear the same stories around the world, everywhere. We hear the same stories. Maybe in Europe, we have a different color in the stories. And in Europe, especially my generation is saying, now the young generation is not anymore interested in all what we have prepared over the years for them. That means they rather want to sit at home. They rather want they want to have a degree, but then they want to be a lady of pleasure or something like that. And for mothers, it's not understandable, because we have fought for having equal rights, having equal positions, having equal salaries. And now the daughters, they're not anymore really interested in that. But if we move then further, for example, direction Eastern Europe, we hear exactly the same stories as you are telling. If I have been living in Indonesia for almost 15 years, exactly the same stories. But I don't know. I would encourage everyone to fight for that, because I'm from this generation. We fought for that, and I think we had really a great life, but not an easy life. We had to reflect all the time how to go and how to make the next step, and so on. But it's very strategic, and I think it forms the personality, and it also brings up new ideas, new networks. And on the other side, never you know what will happen tomorrow. And I have to say, even if I have been defeated quite often by males, it was quite exciting. I would not miss any defeat I had, because I grew through that. I have learned so much. Therefore, I would encourage you, continue as you have discussed right now. And if you fail, analyze why you failed, and then make it better next time. Develop a strategy out of that. My topic is now promoting women in STEM and how education, research, and corporate community can support. And since my background is from economics, and I work with a lot of data, I'm a user of IT. That means I'm somehow an alien in your community right now, but I use the IT since my first day in business, and this is quite a while ago. And even the PhD at that time I had to do with the first possible laptop I could get on the market, and Macintosh at that time. That means I have almost a museum at home of all laptops and computers I used. And I have considered now a bit a different approach, because time is running, and you had so much, so many thoughts were here, and I don't want to bring over layers and bring layers over layers, let's say in this way, about all what you have said already. I have prepared Mentimeter. Do you know Mentimeter? I have prepared this for 2 questions. That means you will then type the answers. And the first question I address to all the audience now, not just the panelists, but to everyone. And the first question is, why is there such a disparity in the STEM fields, and what can be done about it? I have prepared here the question, the Mentimeter. I have sent this in the chat. And now I would like to ask the host that I can share the screen. Is it possible to share the screen?
Yes, it will be done.
Somehow it does not work right now for me. How can I do that now? Share the screen, share screen, okay. And I want to go for the Mentimeter. Where is it? I don't see my Mentimeter currently. But at least you can go on the link already, what I have sent to you. Here it is, my Mentimeter. Do you see now the screen? Is everyone online on Mentimeter? Have you clicked on the link I have provided in the chat?
Yes.
Then if a number is asked, then please bring in the number, the 6898078. And then please type up to 5 words. You can type. And then enter, that you can send this. And we create then a word cloud. Okay, awareness we have here. I see only one person online. Is everyone online? Please click on the link I have shared. Okay, now I see. And it doesn't matter if you have the same words. You will not see now the words, but it's even important because then if more people use the same words, it becomes bigger and bigger. That means this has much more importance, this word, than other words. So we have social factors, we have gender roles. Awareness is very bold in the center, diverse backgrounds. We see laziness. STEM is too hard. We have the cultural limitations. Hiring biases. Determination, lack of mentorship. Curriculum. Then we have family, gender roles, stereotype. Awareness gets bolder and bolder in the center. Lack of strong advocacy, lack of infrastructure, lack of awareness, the cultural barriers, insecurities. So I think that's it, because no new words are coming. That means every one of you have completed the 5 words. It's very interesting. New words are coming. Ignorance, no guide, career breaks, so I think we have quite a lot, and then I would say this is a research done by itself. We keep this and maybe we can then work on a paper all together on STEM, or use it by yourself and publish a paper, work on a paper using all these terms what we have here. Now, I would like to come to the next one. We have, I have prepared a second word cloud. Now I have to leave here the sharing and have to bring in the second link. So then I share again. Let's go for the second one. Oops, it's not the right one. So share. Now the question is, what are some challenges you have faced in school or the workplace as a woman in STEM. And let's brainstorm, let's bring that together. I assume we get very interesting ideas or experiences, I have to say. And this also can then become then the baseline for a joint research. Counseling, lack of role models, mentoring, sexism. So I see some have difficulties coming in. Now we have 3 here. Bias, mentoring, continuity, imposter syndrome, yes. Role models, lack of role models, lack of role model, lack of real life use, discrimination, lack of equipment. Oh, it's very, very interesting. I like it. And lack of role models becomes bigger and bigger in the center. Poor mathematics, balance work life, yes. Discrimination, yeah, then also much smaller are law resources, lower resources and support. Discrimination now is very big in the center. Lack of confidence. Oppression is a new experience, what we have here. Priority to the man, yes. The competition between male folk, yes. Do something more come or we are final? Anyway, I can then provide the clouds to Kafayat and you can use it then for your own purpose. And maybe, because there is now the Vakran conference in March, and until February, there is the open call for paper. You can also use then the cloud, the word cloud, to come in with an abstract for the conference, to make yourself visible and you make yourself visible as a group. I think this would be very important. And with the Vakran conference, since I have participated quite a few times there, you reach out to all Africa and beyond, because participants from all African research and education networks are there, and also from the Middle East and also from Europe. Therefore, please use all what you can do to write abstracts, to bring abstracts to different conferences and do it as a group, and you will see what comes out. I would really recommend that. Okay, I think we have received quite a lot of experiences. And I have to say, there is not one single experience there what I wouldn't have perceived, received by myself in all the years in business and higher education. Thank you so much. So then let's come to the question. I have also prepared some questions for talk as well. What has kept you motivated to continue in this pathway? We have seen now all the disappointments, maybe not disappointments, but all the hurdles what we had to clean up, where we had to walk around. And nevertheless, we are still in STEM somehow. And now it's the question, what has kept you motivated to continue in this pathway despite the barriers women face in the STEM field? And I bring this question, I have here the list. Yeah, I have here Amanda on the first. Maybe I bring this question then to Amanda. What has you kept continuing working in the STEM field? What has you kept to stay in the STEM field?
Sorry, Margaret, I think Amanda has already joined.
Amanda is not here. Yeah. Teresa. Maybe Teresa can answer that. It's neither available. Maybe Victoria.
Thank you very much for the question.
Teresa, okay, great to have you.
Thank you very much for the question.
A very brief answer, please.
All right, for me, it's...
manage the time, and after our session, another session will still have questions.
For me, I'm motivated by the few female out there that I see that they are in STEM, and then they are being productive. They are doing something that is worth celebrating. So seeing them alone, my angle is from mentorship. I'm able to I can also do this. I can also get to this height. People like Grace Oppa, like history, reading story of people that have done things and people that are still doing things in this line. So that's for me.
Great. Then next, Victoria. Is Victoria here? No, she's not anymore here visible on the list. Then we have, who is on the list? Salome, maybe? No, but yeah, Salome?
For me, women were like movies, actually, women in tech movies, like Mary Jackson. It's a history. She was the one that she was the first black female engineer. She has inspired me. And Tolulope Arotile, she's the first air fighter for Nigeria, plane fighter, and although she's dead now, but I love the fact that she pursued her dreams. So
what a great story! What a great story! Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Then we have Temialde. Sorry if I pronounce your name in the wrong way. Temialde.
No, that's fine. I think that I like what Teresa and Salome has said. I feel that when you see other women doing amazing stuff, it encourages you to let you know, since they can do it, they've won the battle, I can also fight my battle and win it. I think another thing that is motivating me is I enjoy what I'm doing. I wasn't forced to be in tech. Nobody forced me. I enjoy what I am doing. I chose the part of tech that I feel that fits my personality and fits my career. I'm not following the trend, so I enjoy what I'm doing. So that alone motivates me to do more. Then aside other women I look up to, there are other young ladies that look up to me. And the fact that I see that there's a large gender gap that needs to be filled, and I know that I have to play my part. I see that being a strong advocate of women in STEM as a mission for me personally, and other persons are looking up to me. So that's enough motivation for me. I remember sometimes last year when I went through a phase where I was just tired, but one thing that kept me going is, hey, there are other young ladies looking up to you. If you fail, you might indirectly affect their choices in life or their orientation about women in STEM. So those are like the 2 or 3 major things that keep me going and keeps me motivated.
Great. I appreciate very much that. And I see, yeah, we are role models as well. That means every one of us becomes a role model. But on the other side, if I look back, sorry, that to come in also with my stories, I had so many disappointments as well. Promoting females for scholarships, for jobs, for conference participations, and so on. But on the other side, we have also to see these are human beings, and we have best intentions, but our intentions don't fit to their career plan or to their life plans. And I think this is also what we have to consider all the time. It was very difficult for me in the younger age because I did my best and I thought that my best is also the best for them. They consider this. But I think we have to see humans are behind, and many females are saying, no, I don't want to do that. This is not my way. And they rather want to see it proof that it doesn't work for them and then to get out, then continue working. But I think, yeah, every one of us is a role model. Keep this in mind. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, then we have Hanafa.
Yeah, hi. Okay, so what keeps me motivated is the fact that when I'm working in an obvious NGO, I mean, I am in a position to kind of impact change directly by making sure there's an increase and a deliberate increase in number of female in across our programs, across our boot camps, our mentorship programs. So bridging, directly being able to bridge that gap kinds of gives me the inspiration to, you know, continue. And also I also enjoyed the fact that I tried my hands in programming, it didn't really work out, and I can as well still go ahead and still make an impact in the STEM field.
Great. This is also, I think, one of the experience that needs to be shared more often. It's to try out, to do something new, not sitting and waiting. And not everything becomes a success story, but quite a lot success stories are in that what we try out, and we get better in doing that. And I think this needs to be captured and also try to share this with others, with your juniors.
Thank you.
They also get more empowered and not very often females, they have high expectations on themselves. But we are human beings and we can meet our own expectations very often, I have to say. But nevertheless, we keep trying. Thank you for sharing that. Then we have Deborah. Deborah, please share your story with us.
Thank you so much, Margaret. So for me, it's my passion. It's what I enjoy doing. Like Temilade has said, I wasn't forced to go into STEM. It was what I chose for myself. And on a daily basis, I motivate myself. I see what other women are doing, amazing women are doing out there, and I push myself. Oh, you can do this. If others are doing it, even though if there are some fields that we have men participating more in them, I still see those men as, oh, see, if they can do it, I can also do it. So for me, tech is my passion. I have passion for it, and I enjoy doing what I do.
Thank you so much. I like so much what you were saying. It's no one has forced you to get into STEM, and you like that what you're doing. And I think this is the driving force in females, also in everyone, males and females, to excel in that what we are doing, to become better and to grow into all that. And if males can do that, then we can do this as well. This was also all time my motto at school, at university. If males can do that, if they succeed in this exam, I can do this as well. And I think this is yeah, it's competition somehow, but I liked it. And I like it that you also have this in your approach. Thank you very much for sharing that. Eletta, can you
Thank
please
you.
share your story with us?
Yeah, thank you very much. Number one, my mom is a role model because she's an engineer. So she keeps telling me that being a woman is not a disadvantage, it's an advantage. And when a woman, maybe there is something, a work to be done, and all the men are drawing back, and I get to do it, people look and like, oh, and she's a woman. I'm excited because I see most of the things I decide to put my hands in, I succeed in them. And that alone gives me encouragement even to do more. Then I still have some male colleagues that are encouraging. When I run into problems, if it's something they know, they assist me. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's also a great statement from your mom. It's really great because being a woman is not a disadvantage. Nowadays, specifically not. Because if a male and a female applies for a position, it does not matter where in international organizations, at universities, it doesn't matter in which country. We have the same, if we have the same qualification, we get the job. This brings us also in the position, and I like this also from my side, that I could say no. They offered me positions and I said no, because I didn't want to do that. Good, highly paid positions, but nothing is for free. There is no free lunch. That means we have the possibility to say, no, it's not my way. I want to go a different way. A male would never do that. If they have the choice, they go for it. Or let's say the majority of males, they would do that. Therefore, keep in mind also your mother saying, it's not bad to be a woman. Yeah, we have the choice. We can make changes. And we don't have the pressure from the society. This is another point. Thank you, Aletta, for sharing that with us. And then I would like to ask Balikis, if I pronounce it correctly.
Okay, thank you. You actually tried. Okay, someone said earlier, what has kept me going is because it's my area of interest. I really love it and have been into it ever since my university days. I studied computer science from the beginning, even my master's, and also where I'm working. I use a lot of IT where I'm working. So it's just the interest. I love it and I like what I'm doing. So even, for instance, like in my place of work, I was, my office was changed from the service desk to procurement, IT procurement. And when I got that part of the job, it was like everything was just done in a manual aspect. And I was just like, I cannot continue to do things like this. Let me just put in my IT skills to do some things in a better way. Everything does not have to be physical or something. And I proposed to my boss, and he said, okay, just let's see what we have. And also there are some things we do on a manual basis before. I just try to automate some things, and we are good to go now. So it's just something I have interest in. So it's just my passion and I love doing it. And that has kept me going, trying to do more. I'm even trying to see if there are ways by which I can even help them more in using IT, because where I work in IT. They are mostly into agriculture, but the IT, I work at the IT section. So we are also even trying to see how we can use our IT to help them in this agriculture of a thing that they are doing. So it's my passion. I love it, and that's what have kept me going since. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. But this is also something what we have to see. Successful ladies, all them have passion for that what they are doing. They are passionate in what they are doing. It's not the reputation what they can gain. Of course, they gain the reputation as well. But first of all, they are very passionate. Great to hear that from you. Thank you so much. If I go back to my questions, I would like to do another exercise with you. And this time we use the chat, the simple chat. And that means you type then the answer to the question in the chat, but don't send the answer until I say go. And this is now the question on referring to the new technologies, emerging technologies. And how can research and education network, I assume here it's the WACRAN, or other agencies support the skills development? In general, your skills development. How can organizations, the Research and Education Network, or agencies support you in your skills development? Please write an answer. Don't send the answer until I say go. Everyone should write the answer, your own answer. Please type your answer. Sorry. If you have the answer, how Research and Education Network could support your skills development, then I would say 1, 2, 3, and go. So there is a lot coming. Mentorship and training, reviewing and improving the curriculum, offering grants, study in artificial intelligence, job opportunities, recognition. Okay. Then there is another question I would bring here in, and how can research and education networks support you in your professional development? Again, type your answer. How could research and education network support you in developing your professional life, your profession as such, growing into certain topics you wish to grow into that? Please type your answer and send it once I say go. So, 1, 2, 3, and go. Let's see. Offering grants, scholarships, exposure to training, conferences. We have educational grants, provide space for practicals in institutions, building research laboratories. Include better policies for women in the human resource departments. getting back after career breaks, yeah, how this can be handled to encourage women to come back. Okay, thank you very much for sharing that. And then time is running, and I have prepared something special from Idea Sport. I hope it works. I bring here the link into the chat. Try to open the link. And I try to share with you my link here that we see where you will come. Share screen. Once you have opened the link, you should see that here, what I have here. This is Idea Boards. It's a free software. And here I have brought in the last question. And the question is, what recommendations do you have for employers and government and educational institutions to promote the participation and success of women in STEM? We have here 3 categories. We have the employers, then you can click here and you can start typing. You can click here to the next one and you start typing, and the next one in the same way. Please type your answers here. If there is an answer what you like already, then go here to the plus and bring here your, for example, here plus, I bring here, no, does it come? No. I wanted to add here, update, okay. Then we have 1. That means whenever someone is something typing and you like it, please go here to the plus and add, and there is then no need that you you type it again. So some more are coming. Anyway, I will leave the link open that you can then also add more once the session is done and you have new ideas. Feel free to add and see what others have brought here in. And as mentioned, use all the material what you get here from out of this session today, maybe for an abstract, submit it to WACRAN, give a voice to your community within WACRAN. I think Kafayat will support all of you in doing that. And I think this would be something very powerful. It would be a very powerful sign. Young researchers working together, having explored ideas they have, and yeah, and they have a voice. With that, I would like to thank you very much for inviting me and for working with me here. I provide all the documents to Kafayat that you can use this. Use it for your research, for your IT research, but also for the women in IT, women in STEM, and so on. Make out of that your own career as well. And we got I think it was a letter saying it's not bad to be a woman. Take this as your motto and try and to push yourself to the limits, and you will see what you can achieve. With that, I would say thank you very much. And I have also to leave you now because I should be in a meeting already since 2 o'clock. It was a pleasure. Good luck, all the best if you need discussion with me, please feel free to contact me, send me an email. And I'm looking forward. And maybe once in the Vakran conference, we meet again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Margaret. Thank you so very much for this interactive section.
I stop sharing now, but you can still access the idea boards.
Okay, thank you very much, Margaret.
Thank you.
Very
and
nice.
bye-bye. All the
Bye-bye.
best.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. So just to round up the section, the last section was supposed to be questions about professional skills, the difference between professional skills, employability skills, and entrepreneurship, and how all of this can all be combined together for the benefit of we women in STEM. So what I would just do to wrap up this section is I'll be sharing my screen now. I have just 2 questions to ask for this section. Sorry, let me just quickly do that. Okay, I hope you can all see my screen. If you can, just raise your hand. So I'll be sharing the link to this Jamboard sheet. So I have 2 questions here. For you to be able to access the question, you can just click on this bar up here, expand frame bar. Then the first question is how the Research and Education Network can foster development of skills in tech area as part of undergraduate coursework, lab experiments, for entrepreneurship and internship stroke. We'd just like you to use this wish to add in your answers and then move to the next question with that icon to answer the next question, which is young women interested in pursuing STEM are particularly in need of academic and career advice. What would you advise? So use the sticky note. That's the 4th icon by the left panel. So use it to answer those 2 questions at your leisure. So thank you so very much for joining this section. I think we ran out of time at a point. So I know we've all one way or the other. I'll stop sharing now. Take out some things from this section. For 3 years now, I've been involved in these activities of encouraging women in STEM to participate more, because I myself, I study engineering, and I know how challenging it is for we women in this sector in terms of competing with our male counterparts. So in fact, I've jotted a lot of things down, a lot of ideas from you all, and I hope the Research and Education Network community and enterprises, government will all come together to incorporate all of these points and help us move forward. And yes, like I said in the section description, I said something like, the gender gap in STEM field is apparent, and there has been a lower rate of engagement and contribution of women, which are crucial to upholding technology capacity. So there needs to be that gender diversity and inclusion in technology to avoid biases when it comes to technological products or services. So it won't be about, for instance, AI products, just having male ideas and no female point of view in building these products or services. So thank you also very much for joining this section. And yes, this wrap up the section. So thank you so much. If we have any question or any more suggestions you would like to share with us, please feel free to contact us. And I think I missed the link to the Jamboard, so I'll be sharing that right now. So please feel free to click on the link and share your ideas to those questions, so it visible to everyone. You can all type in. So thank you so much. Thank you. So that ends the section. Thank you. So bye-bye. Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thank you, Anifa. Thank you, Tima.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, I would love to connect
Thank you, everyone.
with everyone after this conference. So if we could, try to drop your WhatsApp contact or your personal email addresses, so we continue conversations like this.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Bye.
Please, can you share Mrs. Margaret's email address and other people's